Dirty, dirty.
Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Barbecue Roundtable. I'm one of your hosts, Jason Hardy with Elite Barbecue Smokers, and today we got a dear friend of mine, a good guy, and somebody that I think we have a lot of fun tonight. So let me bring everybody up and introduce themselves. All right, let's go. All right, Mr. Luke, introduce yourself. Big smiling person you are.
What's going on, everybody? Luke Darnell, Old Virginia Smoke.
And up here, another co-host we got.
Justin Holt Brothers Barbecue, Charlotte.
That's it. One real
Yeah.
quick thing today. This show today has been sponsored by Snake River Farms. If you go down the link below, you get a link to Snake River Farms. Use Elite BBQ 10. You get 10% off all your purchases. So check it out. Links down below. Awesome time to have. Great products. But today we get our show started. We got some really good questions to ask Luke here. He's on the other side of the camera today, so this is something special for Luke. Kind of getting all that going on. So
Oh,
Luke, now
sure. I'm
tell us a little
shigging.
bit of
All I'm doing is shigging.
all right. So basically, what that
Man,
means is if y'all got any questions, you need to ask Luke tonight. And I'm gonna try to
that's
keep up
right.
the
I
comment
mean,
section.
not sure how Snake River Farms is one of my sponsors, but they're sponsoring your podcast and not mine. Have to change that.
Um, I
Just
don't know what to tell you
kidding.
there, man. Don't know what to tell you there, man. Got Pushio on the show already, making comments.
What's up, Big
Joseph.
Pooch?
Oh man.
What's going
And
on?
so,
What's
Luke,
up,
tell us a
Justin?
little bit about how you actually got the passion for cooking. Did you grow up cooking? Kind of what was the whole story with that?
Whole family always cooked. My mom, my dad, mom especially always cooked. Dad was always cooking outside, and that's just sort of ingrained in us. And when we were younger, my dad had a coworker who was from the island of Tonga, and every year they would cook a hog in the ground, and we would bury it. And the kids' job was to sit there and shovel dirt over top of the holes, make sure no smoke's coming out. We didn't know we were working, and we were doing the work that they were supposed to be doing, so they could just drink beer all day. Uh, so that's kind of what I mean. Just that flavor of wood and meat, and got me into it, and that's what started it off. We were like 9, 10, 11 years old, and been cooking outside ever since.
All right. So now, what
Puccio,
he's
I
talking
put eight
about
in the
here.
box. 8 in the box, Puccio. 8 in the box. I'm gonna respond to every comment I see. By the way,
Oh Lord bless us all.
yeah.
So we get this comment here in a little while to talk about a backstory about this. But going back to what Lou's talking about when he's cooking. So what he's talking about doing is they took basically dug a hole in the ground, usually about 3 foot deep, and you go in there and you put let me back this up. The way I've done this in the past, about 3 foot deep, you put a bed of charcoal on top of it, and then you put a little more dirt on top of it.
No,
No, all right. So
no,
how'd y'all do it?
you're talking too much already. I gotta talk more. So we'd dig about a 5 foot hole, and then we'd start a big fire with a bunch of logs and a bunch of wood. And in the
Okay,
bottom of that, we would have limestone. So the limestone would eat up all that heat. We'd let that burn down. Then we would put sticks across the hole, and then we would put chicken wire across the sticks, and then we would lay the hog on the sticks, and we'd wrap up roast and everything that we throw in there. Then we'd soak corn and potatoes, we'd throw those in there. Then we would cover that with about 6 or 7 layers of foil. Then we would put cardboard on top of that, and then we would bury it with dirt.
okay.
I mean, that's more island style, not like redneck South Carolina style.
Mhm.
Three foot hole. Shit. Come on. 3 foot hole.
No,
Hey, the way we done it growing up, well, the way I done it a few times is you basically dug the hole about 3 foot deep. You get the charcoal hot, then you put some dirt back in there, and then you take the hog, you wrap it in burlap, and then you bury it in there. And then we put, like I
No.
said, um,
The
put
island
like a
people would
leaf.
not be happy with you. That's just completely incorrect.
There's 2 ways to skin a cat, I reckon. Um, so that was kind of like your first introduction to smoking barbecue, correct?
Yeah. And then we were always grilling outside, and it's funny because we had steak night every Saturday night at my grandmother's house. We'd have steak and baked potatoes and some vegetable, but no one really cared about the vegetable. But my dad was always the one that would grill the steaks, and everybody always had their preference on how they wanted their steak. But my dad always overcooked the steaks. And it was like, I didn't realize so much later in life that, like, man, the person that I learned from was ruining that stuff all the time. And yeah, that's why. So then I moved here to Virginia and I started doing barbecue in the backyard for tailgates and stuff like that. And Kim came home one day and said, I got a coworker who has a barbecue team. And I was like, what's a barbecue team? Like, they have competitions for this? This is stupid. So I looked it up, and yeah, and this guy was from Kansas City, and great guy. And he made his own sauces and rubs, and he was from Kansas City, and he knew everything. And we did that for a couple of years, and we finished in the bottom third every time. I think we got one call over 3 years, but we also only cooked like 3 times a year. But I'm not one to do stuff like that for so long that if you're not doing well and you're not making changes to do better, then why are you doing it? So I was like, I'm out. Like, this is dumb. We're not meeting new people. We're staying here. We got to take 3 cars worth of stuff. Man, are we 2 minutes in yet? Whew, so hard. Yeah, we are. All right. It says 6 minutes. Shit. So we're taking 3 cars of shit to a contest. And it was like, no more. And then came home and I was like, I'll just go back to cooking backyard stuff. And my wife and best friend Leanne came up to me and they said, hey, we really like you doing that. And we liked what you were doing. And we think we should start our own team. So that's what we did. And we spent that whole winter of 2021 just practicing competition barbecue. Everybody was so sick of barbecue because we were making at least one competition meet every weekend, trying to figure it out. And we did our first contest. We did okay in 2 meets, not so good in other meets, but we did better than we ever did with the other team. So that's how we got started.
So Leanne, I've met, and she was I met her several contest stuff here, great person and stuff here, and Kim's your wife, and they call her Miss General, correct?
Little General. Yeah.
Little General.
Because she's 5 foot tall, but she seems like she's 8 foot tall and a giant because she's so mean.
She's the sweetest person you ever met, y'all. I don't listen
That's
to
not.
that.
Come on, that's bullshit. That's not even close to accurate.
I mean, she loves me. I ain't got a problem.
I hope she's listening. Baby, I love you and you're amazing.
So anyhow, so you started doing competition. So did y'all always have the name Old Virginia Smoke, or did you start out with a different name and then switch, or kind of what's the story with the name?
That was our name from the beginning, and it was kind of a brainstorm with my brother. My brother is super creative as well, and it's funny because growing up, I was always the writer and he was the drawer and graphic guy. And then as we got older, I switched into more graphic thinking and more graphic oriented stuff. And he became a writer. My brother was actually the lead writer for Yahoo's NFL blog back when blogs really started. At one point, my brother was the most widely read blogger in the world.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we got together and I said, I want to do something that ties together West Virginia, where I'm from, and Virginia, where I currently live. And we came up with the name of Old Virginia Smoke. So basically, for those of you that aren't steeped in West Virginia history, West Virginia, 55 counties of West Virginia used to be a part of Virginia during the beginning of the Civil War. And then 55 counties decided that they hated Southern oppression, so they decided to separate and become West Virginia and become part of the Union. Now, obviously, Virginia is a way better place to live than West Virginia, and West Virginia is backwards and ridiculous. But we wanted to honor from being there, so now we've got that's how we got Old Virginia, and our logo plays into that too, and that we have both states featured on there. And I'm
Yep.
super proud to be from West Virginia. It's an amazing place.
It is a beautiful country. I think they took the level and threw it out the window because, man, pulling a trailer through West Virginia is definitely one of the things you remember the entire life. 'Cause it's a beautiful place and everything, but good Lord, pulling a trailer through that. It's like
What's
every
up?
time you go down a hill, red lights at the bottom of the hill.
Oh yeah, every time. And that's a hill for those of you that don't understand, Jason. I will translate some stuff for you. TNS barbecue competition team, MRC barbecue. Good. How you guys doing? Good to see you. Toby's on. Toby Grimmett.
Oh Lord.
That means Toby's watching and the Tobinator. So
We also got Kent here from YouTube side of it. How you doing, Kent? Kent got some briskets through Snake River Farms through me the other day. Hope they look good on you, man. Good briskets.
Good.
Well, you get residuals for this?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'll be sure to use the code.
$2
Yeah.
checks.
Yeah, check it out. We definitely get the affiliate part of it, and we appreciate all that.
Awesome.
Man, I'm just going to keep answering comments. Sorry to disrupt the flow. But Chris Pinnell, I'm drinking some Angel's Envy Rye.
Angel's Envy Rye.
Yep, and that's Frankie Nagel. That is me, Luke Darnell. Fun fact about Frank Nagel is that I one time signed his ass with a Sharpie. Pretty amazing.
And somebody has a video of that somewhere.
I think Pooch has it, but we'll see.
They didn't play that.
Hey, you guys asked me to be on. You knew what you were going to get.
Do you want to tell the story of how that come about?
I don't quite remember it.
You don't quite remember that.
I remember signing his ass, but I don't remember why.
Well, it all started at a contest in Georgia that we were there at, and we decided it would be a good idea to go out to eat. And we went to the Hooters.
That's right.
And Luke got mad at me.
I did.
Very mad at me.
Not
and
very.
went to talk to me a little while.
That's
so yeah, we had a good time at Hooters, get some wings, finally get seated to come back in there. And we come back to the contest, and I think it was Saturday. It was Saturday night after the contest, and we were sitting there having a good time, drinking a lot of drinks. And you went over there and asked for something. And then Frank made some smart comment about signing his behind. And you looked at the team here and says, if they got a Sharpie, I'll do it. And them guys tore that spot apart to try to find that Sharpie.
We had some sort of bet, and I can't remember what it was about, but I do remember watching Mutt's windshield pooch. I do remember that. It was fun. That's a good segue to the Mutts.
Yeah. So, kind of going a little bit off of script here. So, you got to say we go into the Mutts.
All off script, buddy. That's how we're rolling.
Freestyle.
That's how we're rolling.
Yeah.
Yeah, when Luke comes on the show, y'all, we absolutely have no script. We're going to throw it out the window and just see what happens. But it's a good thing. So we got to bring the Mutts in here and talk about that. And from what I understand, they were a saving grace for the man this weekend. So,
well, that's a good way of putting it. But we kind of helped each other out. So I remember cooking a couple weeks ago in New Freedom, Pennsylvania, and I had the piece of, which I always called separated steel, and that's because I don't know shit like that. It's expanded metal in the bottom of my Jambo that keeps the coal bed, right? And
separated steel.
It had been burned up for how many years now? So it disintegrated. It was gone. So I threw it out, and I was like, I got to make a note to get another piece. So I made a note, and I didn't get another piece. So cook day one, I kept going, man, where's all my coal going? You know, it's gone. Then I'm like, afterwards when I cleaned the pit, I'm like, well, damn it, I don't have my piece of expanded metal in there. So I walked over to Mike and I asked for separated steel, and he goes, "You mean expanded metal?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Actually," "I have a piece at the bottom of my fire basket, and I think it was choking off my fire yesterday." He goes, "So here, use it, but I want it back." So I took it and I turned around and I said, Brian, if I win tomorrow, I'm gonna need to keep this. And so we come back from awards on Sunday, and I'd won. And Brian just went back to the trailer and got it and handed it to me. And I said, "No, man, I'll get my own piece." And he goes, "I actually know how much this stuff means to you." So he goes, "Here, take it." It was a pretty cool story.
So if y'all that don't know Luke, and there's very few people out there in competition that don't know Luke, probably one of the most passionate people about barbecue, about in general, that I've met. Truly is an amazing person. But one of the things that he is very much involved in, I'm not sure superstition is the right word, but it's the little pieces that he's always doing to repeat so that he can kind of follow a process. Would that be correct?
Sure. Yes and no.
Okay.
I'm getting a little bit more daring and trying different things and seeing what works. I think, back in the day, and now I'm going to reveal me being an old ass in barbecue. Back in the day, like, you didn't.
Truth in that.
If you had something and it hit, you didn't change it. Because you're in the top 10. That means you're in the ballpark. You didn't change it. But that was also back before there were videos and there were podcasts and there were all these outlets for information about barbecue. I think that now that information has changed and the access to information has changed in terms of barbecue, that I think trends change faster. And I think flavors change faster. I think different things change faster for the judges. I think that's happening. And I think that if you're not adapting constantly in this game now, I think that you're going to get left behind. And maybe I'm wrong about that, but I just feel like you should always be striving, not necessarily to make it more complex, but just to figure out what's working. And luckily, I made some terrible decisions on Saturday in the trailer, and I rectified those decisions on Sunday. So,
I mean, I think there's a lot of truth in that. I think that early in this year was cooking basically every contest, different recipes, and was doing decent, doing pretty good for us. But again, I think it was tenderness. It was focused on tenderness. I think as the season changed, getting hotter, I think flavors changed. We're talking about somebody. I was talking with a team yesterday or day before yesterday, and they're talking about how I got a judge come up to him and says, "Man, everything I taste is just so sweet. I don't taste no salt, no savory no more." And the guy's like, "All you got to do is make a comment card that says too sweet, no salt." You do that 2 or 3 times, and it'll change the entire world in competition barbecue. Not saying it's for the better. I'm just saying that's what's going to happen.
it doesn't matter if it's better. It's just, it is what it is,
Because, I mean, we're, like you said, we're starving for so much information of how to tweak it that we take anything, and sometimes we take it too far one direction. But
well,
again,
we're
that's
not.
what we love.
We're suffering from information overload.
Yeah.
And somebody says something works, so we gotta try it and figure that shit out. I don't know. But barbecue's still fun. It's been 11 years. Barbecue's still fun.
That was kind of, you say, information overload, and there's a lot of truth in that. And like I was cooking this past weekend at Goldsburg at State Cook-Off, the little SCA, and had a blast there. It's an awesome run contest. The guys did an amazing job with that.
Man, you
we didn't
remember how we had that conversation about something we didn't want to talk about, and I didn't bring up state contests.
Yeah, you did bring up state contests. For the record, what he's talking about is before we start the show, I was asking anybody, is there anything you don't want to talk about? And he didn't mention nothing, so therefore it's all free game.
Yep.
All
So
right, I'm gonna
he had
make
opportunity.
He
had opportunity here.
Your
Anyhow,
podcast.
you're my guest. Yeah, we're doing this. The thing that we're talking about information overload is we got through cooking a steak and we got our scores back, and I'm sitting going like, I'm so used to a lot of information from KCBS. the score sheets, the judges' totals, the comment cards, and I don't get that in the SCA. And I'm sitting there scratching my head. I'm like, I don't know which way to go. Do I go this way, or do I go this way? What do I do to make it better? And it's just kind of head scratching because I don't know necessarily a direction to go.
I know what you should do.
What's that, Luke?
Keep cooking barbecue contests and stop doing steak contests. That's what I think you should do.
And I am not quitting barbecue competitions. However, I do see the appeal, and I do enjoy cooking the steak because it's taking the truck, putting the hitch on there, putting the grill, driving there, doing the contest, and driving home.
And then overcooking a steak, turning it in, and then
Listen, be nice.
I am.
Be nice.
Second place on our first steak cook-off, according to your podcast. Wasn't that second? You got second place?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That was a good story too. I enjoyed that.
But it's fun to do stuff that's different too. It's fun to explore different options. I mean, heck, I done a chili contest and think I got second place in a chili contest one time.
They make chili in South Carolina?
We're not going there.
Do they? I'm being serious. It's always so 10,000 degrees down there.
We make chili. Hey, man, when it gets cold down here, it's like 60 degrees outside. And it's
I
cold.
know, it's the worst. You got to put on a sweater and everything. What are we going to do?
I mean, it gets 60 degrees. The day was like 98 down here today.
Oh, it was that hot up here. I mowed my grass today and about died. I only did half the yard. It's only an acre.
Jeez.
Or no, a quarter of an acre. Sorry.
Dude, all right. Brian Turner, Muttley crew, I want to throw you under the bus here. He told me the funniest thing on the phone Sunday. He was cutting his grass, and his drive belt on his mower, on the riding mower, broke. And he had 100 yards to cut, like 4 swipes right. He pushed a riding lawnmower to cut 100 yards of grass, like four times up and down.
Wow.
He's got a side-by-side over there that he goes to the mountains on. I'm like, man, God bless you. That's all I got to say to you.
Dedication right there.
That is insane. All right, this must be for Luke only because I don't know this one.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Jeffy? I'm not going to wear that.
You're not going to wear that?
Yeah. No, that's a good story, too. Hey, look, it's the little general. You want to say
hey,
hi?
little general.
Say hi, Kim.
Is she bringing you a refill?
Hi, Kim.
She brought the bottle.
I was about to say,
Oh.
that was a
Hi, guys.
refill.
That's awesome. Oh. By the way, we were talking how nice you were and how sweet you are, Kim.
Yeah, she can't hear you because it's in my earbuds.
Damn it. I'm trying to get brownie points.
Yeah, so all right, so what Luke and Jeff are talking about is in Michigan last year, we left for lunch and I had my Yeti mug, like the travel one with the twist top, and it was sitting out. Trailer was already locked, so I put it inside the Jambo so no one would take it. And then we had single meat ribs, so I came back and I lit the Jambo.
Uh-huh.
And then the Yeti was still in there, and the lid melted down into the Yeti, and man, it took me like 3 months to get all that plastic out of there. But I got it out there and like melting it off and stuff, and well, I got the lid out of there that time, that night, and Jeff and Luke made a necklace out of it for me, out of the lid.
What?
But now the Yeti has a nice smoked patina to it.
Yeah,
So I call it the Goblet of Fire.
that's cool.
That's
That's a
awesome,
Harry
man.
Potter reference. Both of you guys should get that.
Yeah.
Didn't get that one. Sorry.
Hmm.
So, what was your first grand champion?
2013 Beltway barbecue battle in Prince George's County, Maryland, just about an hour from here. Great contest, doesn't exist anymore. It was the first contest that Kim and I had judged our first year. We decided we needed to judge a contest, which every new cook should go and do. We went there, judged it, then we cooked it. Was it the very next year? Yeah, it was the very next year, and yeah, we had no. Is that right? No, 2014. Sorry. Yeah, 2014. So, and I still remember it. It was a lot like this weekend because we're just sitting there wondering who won, and then it was us. And
Oh,
sitting in the chair going, "What?" And my old buddy Mike Palmer from New Revolution Q, he grabbed me by the shirt. Big guy, massive guy, CB. I mean, just giant guy. Jerked me out of my chair by my shirt and said, "You won, dummy. Get up there." And yeah, I mean, it was kind of like that this weekend. There were 28 teams there. 24 of them could have won the contest. It was a real just, I mean, there were 700s the first day. Now, whether that's right or not, I mean, I don't think that should ever happen in a contest, but it did. And that's fine. And maybe the food was that much better day one than it was day two. But, we were sitting there with 2 calls, and, Fred Vegas had 3 calls, and, Chunky had 2 calls, and just trying to figure it all out. And then we start going through it. We're not hearing our name. We're not hearing our name. And I'm like, and Kim's like, well, they hated something. I'm like, that's not possible. Like, I didn't miss on Sunday. I said it all day that day. We didn't miss. And, so yeah, it was a nice surprise, and it was good to win. A lot of fun.
Yeah, because like you said, you were kind of like I said, you was not expected per se, other than you start getting calls, get down to the bottom, getting down towards the top 1 or 2, and you like either we won or we just didn't do good. Especially when, like I said, you get 2 calls. But
I was pretty confident about the cook all day. I mean, I'm not one to sandbag it and say, "Oh, I didn't have one," or not talk about it or anything. I thought it was spot, and turns out they were right. So it's pretty cool.
speaking of sandbagging, Jason, you remember what Wallace? We're at awards on Saturday at the SCA thing. I don't know what prompted him to ask this.
You got to back up, though. You got to back up to Hollis what he said at Wise, Virginia, at the Cooks meeting. Remember what he said to the one little boy in front of him?
Oh, yeah. That he was like, "Are you cooking in the kids' queue?" And the kid said, "Yeah." He said, "I'm going to kick your butt." And the boy looked at him like, And I was like, "Hollis, oh my God. Like, I don't think you're old enough to talk shit like that." And he said, "Well, I was just telling him. But yeah, we were at awards on the SCA contest. I didn't hear anybody talk about sandbagging at all. And just out of the blue, he said, "Daddy, I've been meaning to ask you, when somebody calls somebody else a sandbagger, what does that mean?" And I laughed so much I couldn't breathe. I was like, he's like, "Well, don't be, why is that funny? I just want to know because I hear everybody calling everybody else sandbaggers." And so I had to, you're on, we can't hear you, Luke.
Luke's muted himself.
Let me get your definition of it.
Told him that if somebody says they had a really bad cook, but they had a really good cook, and they end up winning, that's sandbagging.
So it's a golf term.
Yeah.
So if you're a sandbagger in golf, it means that you're turning in scores and you're inflating your handicap so that you look like you're worse than you are. Then you go out there and you shoot a good score, and everyone's like, "Huh, sandbagger." Yeah. So, yeah, that's what. Yeah, no, you did a good job. Good parenting.
I thought it was funny, so.
Yeah.
So there's he hears everything that everybody says all the time.
Yeah, the kids listen to everything.
He's listening.
They don't miss.
I was like, "Jason, did you hear what he just asked?"
It was just funny. But Wise, that was funny at Wise. I about died laughing.
Yeah, he's got some balls, man. I'll tell you what.
MRC barbecue. Yeah, Friday night cooking was fun. I like doing the single meat Fridays. I did chicken and I did something totally different and got second place, and decided to roll out through the weekend, and it was a learning experience. But that's what Friday night. No one talks about that aspect of the Friday night single meets. If you're gonna go screw around and do something different, do it Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Get some feedback from some judges. See if it works. Have fun doing it. I did have an oh shit moment when, like, 4 minutes before turn in, I was like, I don't have a box made.
Uh-oh.
So I proved that you can build a kale box with 4 minutes.
Wow.
And I did it. And it was beautiful. And then Kim
was
showed
beautiful.
up. Kim showed up at 5:55 and walks in the trailer. It's like, get my brushes, get my tweezers, get my Q-tips. I'm like, leave my box alone? Get out. She's like, how's it taste? I'm like, get out my box. She's like, but I want to make sure it gets 9. I'm like, honey, I always get 9s in presentation. I don't mess.
We've heard that.
Yeah, I don't mess.
Don't miss.
Did you get all 9s of presentation?
Absolutely. That's second place, dude.
I'm just asking. I don't know if you had that 1-8 maybe knocked you out in the first place.
No, Charles had a big score, and then we were all way behind him.
Child had a really good one.
He won both
really
single
would.
meets.
Wow.
I really want to turn in fried chicken one time.
That's a chance.
It
Wow.
would be cool doing fried because I want to do it and see what happens.
You lose, and you'll be like, fried chicken and lost. I just saved you a bunch of time. I'm like Kenny Powers.
Thank you, Luke.
Kenny Powers.
Luke's words of wisdom.
Hey, no one's asking. No one's putting anything in the comments. You guys are letting me down. Can't keep throwing Jason off his flow if you don't say nothing.
He's trying pretty hard to do this. Now, so I was at the American Royal, and in the crowd over here, the people watching, somebody walked the stage up there. And I know that was a very emotional. So tell us about that situation.
What are you talking about?
When you got the big trophy you brought home.
Oh, winning first place chicken?
Yeah.
Man, there's no feeling like it. Hey, it's Brian Walrath. If you notice his comment, it says, there's my sexy Uber grocery driver. I'm going to go ahead and correct him because he needed foil pans. So I was going to the store and I brought him foil pans. I bring him back to the site and he's hammered drunk. And he goes, look, it's my fat Uber grocery delivery service.
Oh. You cleaned
like,
it up here.
Wow, that's nice. No. Brian and his wife are amazing. And they had a great weekend this weekend too. And it was great to see them. Walking the stage at the Royal is, man, it's hard to describe. Like, you get goosebumps even thinking about it. And just, I mean, getting a square trophy is like, that was a bucket list thing. And, you know, it sits in my front room and all I want is another one. I mean, it's just a thing. It's a cool thing. The American Royal, I mean, people can talk about the Jack, and the Jack is a great contest, and it's a heck of an experience. I love it. I hope I get to go back sometime. But the Royal for me is like being trapped in a barbecue snow globe for 4 days. Like, everybody's there. They're all there. You get to see everybody. You go to all these different social events. You get to see everybody. You're cooking against the best people in the world. And it's just, I mean, you leave there and you have PTSD because you're like, this is how much barbecue I love. And how much I love barbecue and how much barbecue loves me and how much barbecue loves everybody and how it's just a great family, a great society. I mean, you can just walk around. I mean, I will cook the American Royal for the rest of my life. Whether it's just the one day, hopefully I'm qualified for both, but I will cook that contest forever. Love it.
It is definitely one of the contests you need to experience, and experiencing that contest is absolutely amazing. You have a blast there to meet people, and and the thing about this is, and I've said this before, kind of preluding to the question I usually ask, but the family and barbecue is amazing. And when you go out there and you start meet people that share a common interest and having conversations, and you start basically just being able to share a passion with them, and you meet people that you still talk to on Facebook and Instagram and call them up and text them, and they're halfway across the country, and you do it on a every other week basis or every week basis, and some people every day. It's you can't put a price tag on it. I mean, it's absolutely insane. Then you'll get people, you'll start making connections. Like we're going out there this year and basically flying out there. I've made another friends and connections on
shit.
par and everything.
Hold on, Carrie's on.
um, I'm telling you, man, it's awesome.
Carrie Chastain, this is for you, buddy.
He's got that going on. But I mean, seriously, the American Royal is one contest everybody needs to at least go to. If you don't cook it, go judge it. They need judges. Go out there and just hang out and see it. It is absolutely just straight up amazing.
Just go cook the open. I mean, it's open to anybody. We've done it, and it's great. You get to turn in with 600 other teams. Like, where else are you going to get to do that? It's amazing. It's so much fun. So much fun.
Now, last year you got to go to the Jack.
2 years ago.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
That was last year. 2 years ago. Time's flying by, man.
Yeah.
So you went and got the opportunity to go to the Jack Daniels to the Invitational. That's something that I know you talking to you before you went. It's something you kind of always want to do, one of your bucket list items and stuff. It's absolutely amazing. So tell us to kind of what did it live up to expectations?
Yeah, man, it was just a really cool feeling being there. Kim and I got there like as early as you could possibly get there. We did all the stuff. We did Miss Berry Bobo's. We did the barrelhead thing. We did the party on the hill. We did the parade. We almost got thrown in jail. Like we did everything that you can do at the Jack. And but we just went there and did it. And we went and had fun. We had a decent cook, not a great cook. We didn't get any calls, and that's fine. I tell people all the time, like your first Jack, like obviously care about your cook, but don't care how you do. Just go and enjoy it and experience it for what it is and have fun.
Yes,
yeah,
and Carrie's going this year.
Yep, and he just said he got his entry paperwork. He said, "Damn, it's expensive." It is expensive. They're now charging an entry fee, and which would prompt smarter people to say that public domain means I've rented that space for the weekend, so I can do whatever I wanted. But maybe not.
So they're charging now for the Jack?
I believe so, yeah.
I know we went and they didn't charge when we went our time, but that was years and years ago.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great experience. It's one of those, it's a bucket list thing. It's the whole reason I started my own team. And the fact that I got to do it, I'm blessed. Glad I got to do it. Hope I get to do it again. Yeah.
Yeah, now the barrelheads were expensive. I remember buying that kind of stuff, the accessories and stuff in there.
It doesn't matter.
That's the first time I seen a guy cut a brisket with a samurai sword at the Jack.
Lord.
How he got that sucker on the airplane, I have no idea. But he cut a brisket.
I'm sure that he drove.
From Japan?
Or bought it there. There's no way or you can check a samurai sword. Why not?
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, whatever.
Check
He's a long samurai looking. He's sitting there slicing that brisket with that sword. I'm like, dude, this is just wacky.
Man.
Gimmick. It's fine. Yeah.
But, so what's the craziest thing you've ever seen at barbecue competition?
$400 for 2 barrel heads. What? Craziest thing? You're gonna have to give me more of a parameter there.
what's the most memorable moment for you at a barbecue competition? How's that one? Don't go crazy. Go memorable.
Memorable would be my first American Royal or second American Royal, which was at Arrowhead Stadium, and this is when they allowed bicycles. And me and Jerry Stevenson and Sean and Jay Reeder, we had our bicycles, and it was Thursday night, and we just drove around on our bicycles until I got real drunk and couldn't get on my bicycle.
Nice.
And then there were other incidents on bicycles, so it turns out now you can't have your bicycle at the American Royal.
Randomly introduced that rule. That's great.
Yeah, that's a good one. Another good one was that year Fredericksburg, Virginia. Second year we cooked it. They had like a log rolling pool. And they had these lumberjacks doing everything, and they had this pool up, and we were all staying Saturday night, and there was this old man, Travis, who was in charge. He looked at me, he said, "Darnell, don't you get your ass in that pool." I said, "Okay." He drove off, and I was in the pool. Me and Brian Walworth were in that pool for a good 7 hours. We brought over a bottle of bourbon, we just got in the pool, and we hung out. Same contest year before. No. Different contest. Beltway barbecue battle. They had Budweiser beer taps. And again, we're staying Saturday night. And the organizer was like, "Hey man, take any containers you want over there. And taps are still on. They're just gonna come get them tomorrow, get all the beer out of it." So we're like, okay. So we went over for the golf cart, got all his beer, drinking it, taking pictures. And guys come over in the morning, they're like, "Who stole our taps?" We're like, "What?" Like somebody came and stole all the Budweiser taps. That was a pretty crazy one. Oh, what else? Man, then there was this contest in Chicago this one time. And like there was this carnival on the other side, Westmont, Illinois, Red, White, and Q. So like Kim and Mark Rasmussen, Sherry Worth, and a bunch of people went over there and they snuck on this big slide, like big blow up slide, and they got to the bottom of it, and then all of a sudden they started running because the carnies saw that they were on this. This is like 2 a.m. And then the carnies started chasing them.
Oh no.
And I remember Mark Rasmussen looked at Kim and said, "Why are you running so fast?" She goes, "All I got to do is run faster than you."
Oh no. Great.
That was a good one. Murfreesboro, Illinois. Kerry Luke and Darren Worth and those guys, they had made these things they made a gin bucket. Now, Kim makes gin buckets, but we drink them out of the glass. These guys drink this shit out of a bucket.
Oh.
And we took this thing to awards, and everybody's drinking out of it. It's disgusting. And then by the time awards start, everyone is hammered. I've never been to awards where everybody was a hammer. Oh, God. Brian Walworth just reminded me of one of the best stories of all time. So we're in Louisa, Virginia, and there was a rep that decided to cook a contest, Bob McKee. And so me and Brian and Big Ugly got real drunk that night, and Bob was staying in one of the cabins. But his trailer, so we went and we picked up his trailer and we turned it around so the tongue was facing the woods. Oh, he came and pounded on my door at like 7 in the morning. He goes, "What did you guys do?" I'm like, "Shh, Kim's sleeping." He's like, "I want to go pound on Big Ugly's door." I'm like, "Go ahead and do that. You probably get a canal right down the middle of your forehead." And oh my God, he was so mad. I went down there and I turned it back around and went, "Was that hard? You have to get that mad?" It was such a good story. Ryan, I'm glad you brought that up, man. That one's a top fiver. That's a really good one. I could go on forever. There's so much fun shit that we've done over the years.
So, what do you love about Competition BBQ?
Something that me and my wife get to go do together. We're both competitive. We can go. She's more than I am, but we can go do it. We can have fun, spend time. We've seen the country. Got plans to see more of the world doing it, and that's what I love about it. I still love cooking it. Even on the business side with the catering business and the food truck, making sure that when people are happy with my food, it makes me happy. And I know that's not healthy, but it's the way it is. I love making people happy through food.
You know, I was doing a catering thing for a Christmas party one time, and a guy come up to me and he's like, "Why do you do this? Why do you keep cooking food for this stuff here?" I said, "Biggest reason is because cooking food, nobody's gonna fuss on me usually about something not being good, because my worst food is probably better than 95% of the people out there's best food."
I don't
And I
know.
say that
I've had your
arrogantly.
chicken. I've had your chicken before.
Hey, Big Daddy, keep talking that shit. See what happens. Yappity yappity yappy.
Puccio asked me, has anyone ever cooked a buzzard on one of your drums? No, but Jason Singletary cooked a water buffalo on there once.
Oh.
And then not only did he not clean the drum, but he didn't bring it back on time. Then he told me he would get me a new drum, and he's never gotten me a new drum either. So, yeah, Jason Singletary, nicest guy in the world. Beautiful guy, handsome, everything. Doesn't keep his promises and makes shit dirty.
That's funny.
Oh, this is so much interesting going on here with this. We're having kind of fun with that.
Wow, you didn't clean your drums forever. It was like the worst time of your life for me.
What are you talking about?
You're like, I'm not cleaning my drums. I'm doing better without it. I'm like,
I'm totally lying your ass. I clean my drums every 3 contests.
Going to hell.
No, I'm not. I'm serious.
You said you just told a lie.
I did not.
That's what you just said. Total lie on your ass is what you said.
I did tell you a lie back then because I was aggravating the crap out of you.
Justin?
Yeah.
Let God know.
He's sitting there ragging me about it and giving me a hard time, and he's sitting there just freaking him out. I'm like, I'll never clean this drum, man. I will never clean them, man. He just scratches his head like, that's the one thing they say you got to do. I'm like, I ain't doing that mess.
Hey, listen. Cook next to the team this weekend that never cleaned their drum.
Oh.
And they do good. They do well. Yeah.
Oh.
I ain't going to out them like that, but
I do better when I clean my drums, but I'm not saying I'm gonna win the contest every weekend either. But I'm just saying I just feel like I do better when I clean the drums, because to me it's that piece of the equation I can't control, and if I can't control it, then what it's going to do. So, but I don't clean them every contest. And the only drum I probably rarely ever clean is just a chicken drum, because it doesn't ever have anything in it. It never even shows it's been cooked a chicken in it, other than the lid.
Definitely doesn't have good chicken in it. Sorry, you left me open, dude.
I did leave you open. What's the deal with you picking on my damn chicken?
Huh?
What is the deal with you picking on my daggum chicken?
Nothing. That's not freaks you out.
I mean, you got American Royal Trophy over here. We understand that Little General cooks his chicken.
You'll probably practice chicken tomorrow, because I've been messing with
you. Saturday I am, but not tomorrow. I've been on schedule.
I'm just messing with you. You know that.
That's funny.
I know.
Good stuff.
All right, so your buddy's on the show right now. So you can bring up your 3-star general here. He's watching.
Who, Scully?
Yeah.
Oh, look at him. There's Corbett. Yep, Corbett's only 3-star general. I've picked in 3 different trailers of Brian Corbett's.
So Corbett is
He
his.
doesn't bring a trailer anymore, right? He's cooking.
He's
at
got
his
an RV.
Man, I'll even tell a story. Justin, you're the only one that's ever gotten like a hate poop.
I know. And I told Jason, but I don't even remember doing what I supposedly
You
did to make you mad.
flicked me in the nipple the
don't
night
remember doing
before, and I almost punched you because I hate that stuff.
And it's so that's like so out of character for me.
I know,
Remember.
but then I saw you, and I think it's your uncle.
No, that's a judge that was cooking with us.
Oh, you guys left the trailer, and I walked over to Alia, and I said, normally I walk into somebody's trailer, and I'm fixing to take a ghost poop, and I'm going to be fast. I'm going to go enjoy this one. This one take some time.
But
all
you
right,
told me you
so
did it twice, though. Did you do it twice that weekend?
No, just once.
Oh, okay. I feel like you told me you did it twice.
TNS has asked a question about why was Scully referred to as a traitor one whole weekend. Oh, that was the weekend where he set me up to go think that I was going to poop in Mutt's trailer. And then I go in there, and then they got the Luke lock on the door, this padlock. And I come out and find out that Brian had set me up. That's why.
Oh,
yeah. And I was in the inner sanctum. So I'll tell a story about that. This story continues. The saga continues. So this weekend, Brian and Shannon are actually over in our site, and we're talking about something. And I got up, and I kind of brushed right by Dan from Top Gun, and he was like, "What the hell?" And I took off running because the Mutt trailer was open and had a beeline. So imagine, no, it seemed like an eternity. It was like 45 feet. I'm running, and Brian Turner is chasing me, trying to head me off at the pass. Because I'm going in. And and I stopped because Brian was chasing me. I'm like, we were too old, too fat to be doing this. And we walked back, and I was like, I had you. I could have been in there. And he was like, no, I was taking you down. I was like, I was stiff arming you. You were going down. That all happened this weekend, too.
But where the story started at, so he was trying to go to bed with Richard Petty, too, though.
I'm not talking about the whole Richard Petty thing. That guy scares me.
That was pretty good, though.
Yep. What's the rest of your questions? We have 7 minutes left.
Rest of my questions.
You got any more questions, or you want to just keep vamping?
Have a good time. My damn chair broke. Shit.
I will tell you that Jason Hardy is one of the best people in barbecue. Justin Holt is one of the best people in barbecue. Love both these guys. Love being a part of their circle. It's pretty cool.
We've said this kind of talking about the show about what we love about barbecue and what do you truly keeps you doing barbecue competition outside of you, like I said, you and your wife doing it together. But what makes you keep showing up and doing that?
It is really trying to poop in the Mutt's trailer. That is really what's driving me now. Like, I'm starting to learn how to pick locks. What's so funny?
Yes.
Get your go for it.
I'm literally learning how to do this.
Awesome. So you need? Have you got a kit?
I have 3.
Oh, that's awesome. I've got a button that picks locks. So
yeah, I'm in.
Your way for some tips.
Oh, Brian Walworth just asked a very good question. The thing about this contest that was awesome about this weekend is that there was a pool at the campground, and we all went.
Michelle was saying that on there. She's telling me, she said they were talking about the pool. Everybody's having a contest at the pool, and she's like, "We did this at Rufus Teague Series campground all the time." I'm saying, what would be awesome though is have the awards at the pool, and everybody got to be in the pool while they have the awards.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, we tried to get that to happen because so Walworth and Tom Barrow were in the pool, and Scully and Ashley were in the pool. I walked over and jumped in the pool, and then Kim came up in her street clothes, and Stephanie from Chunky, she came up in her street clothes. They took their shoes off, jumped in the damn pool. Like all the campers, which, come on, man, let's be honest. Camper people that stay at campgrounds all the time,
are amazing.
weird. They were weird,
Amazing. No, they're not.
odd, and they were like, "Who are all of these people?" Just like I felt like we were in Caddyshack, and it was Caddy Day at the pool.
Yeah.
It was a good
Oh
time.
man.
Then we decided that every contest in the summer should have a pool.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You gonna speak about your skinny dipping in the ocean?
Skinny
and,
dipping in the ocean.
You and Twisted Pair?
I'm not sure we were skinny dipping, but I mean, I love swimming in the ocean. I just enjoy it. And if we're cooking a contest that's at a campground right by the ocean, I'm going in the ocean right after everything. It's just awesome. Yeah, that's not the story you wanted, but I just had a great time.
Hey, it's a good time. We had a good time with all that.
Yeah.
The basis, the moral to the story is we do Competition BBQ because of the people. The friendships we make, the relationships we make, that and the good time we share. I mean, y'all heard the stories tonight. We're sharing stories about just having a good time and hanging out with people who enjoy it and having a good time with them. And that's why we do barbecue competitions. And we'll keep doing that because it's crazy, it's insane. We spend a lot of money doing it, but we just have a good time doing it. And it's a blessing. Show up on Thursdays, leave on Sundays, and have a good weekend. Get cooked barbecue, talk trash, and try to do a little side bet between each other and see who's gonna walk away with the $20 that weekend.
With your bullshit.
Hey, my bullshit.
It's all good.
Hey, I enjoy doing that. Hell, it makes cook better. Makes me cook better, I should say.
Yeah.
Being competitive on that.
Well,
so you won this past weekend here, and like I said, you got the thing with the mutts kind of help with the fire stuff on there. But you were saying earlier that you knew it was a good cook. You knew it had good food in there. What kind of brings that out of that? What makes it feel like it's really good food to you that you're confident in it?
Being objective. Being objective about something you produced. Just because I made it doesn't mean it's awesome. You got to be objective. And I knew how bad I fucked up on Saturday and didn't make those mistakes on Sunday and tasted everything and knew that it was good food. Was it going to win necessarily? No. I mean, there was shit. I mean, you had Redneck Scientific, Smoking Scully's, you had Under the Radar, who dogged everybody the day before. You had Off the Rack, Off in the Swine, Fred Vegas Smokers. I could go on and on forever. You had Hold Your Horses, Brown Liquor. You had, I mean, the whole list of teams from everybody there. Motley Crue, shit. You know, Ham Squad, killing it. Had a 7-4 the day before. You know, you can only control what you can control, and I knew that I controlled it that day to the best of my ability. So that's all you can do.
I mean, and that's one of the questions that me and Michelle were doing contests. We get through the contest and we're sitting there before we get everybody else involved in it. We basically say, will we turn this in again next week? Be truthful about that. Look at it and be like, right. Would I turn this again next week? What did we do right? What did we do wrong? Tasting my amazing chicken and seeing how wonderful it is. And letting Luke over here taste his DOL chicken and all this other stuff. I'm picking at him, y'all. But the thing about it is, you got to ask yourself the question. You got to be critical about this stuff here. And we hear all the time that it's not the team's fault that they cook food. You get it's the judge's fault. It's not true. We have to come to terms it's our fault. We're the ones that control that. We can't control who's sitting at the table. We can't control none of that situation. We have to control what we turn in. And if we turn in good food, it's going to rise to the top. Maybe not every weekend, right. But law of averages is going to rise to the top.
I mean, I even left off like other ones. And now I feel bad because I didn't mention Wolf's Revenge, Chunky, Urkel, Uncle Pig's fucking team of the year. Like damn. Like, if you list that field out, Like that might be one of my top wins ever, just because of the teams that were there. Redneck Scientific. I mean, you can just keep going. Like, of all the teams that could have won that contest, there were so many. And and shout out to Bill and Mary Jones. Like, they did a great job with that contest. And it's funny. You have these small campground contests, have no sponsors, prize purse small, make it awesome, and they made it awesome. They did a good job, and that's all. It's good. It's 9:30.
So
I got stuff to do.
We've been cut off.
Damn.
Lord
Let's
have
keep
mercy.
going. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. I don't have any ice, but we'll keep going.
Oh Lord.
I'm technically on vacation, so let's do it.
Technically on vacation.
Technically.
5 o'clock somewhere, right?
Yeah.
So where's your next contest, Luke?
Don't know. Technically American Royal. But I think we're going to sneak out for some little crazy harebrained scheme we're working on. Yeah, it'll be fun. If we pull it off, it'll be fun. And I don't want to talk about it yet because there's still details out there, but we might make it happen.
Well, it'll be a good little contest. I think we signed up for King, North Carolina contest. I think we're going to try to get that thing straight here this week, so we make sure we go into that contest.
We got to talk more about me. I mean, I'm the guest. Let's talk about me.
All right, what's your deep dark secret here, Luke?
I don't know. What is it?
I don't know. You're trying to pull out something out of your hat. You just wanted to get off the show here. I'm going to try to cut us off, but you want to keep going.
Now I'm back
maybe.
in. Like, let's go. But I mean, we can't talk about what your schedule is. We got to talk about mine and shit that I got going on. Let's see. What do we got? Hopefully there will be a couple of rubs coming out soon from Old Virginia Smoke.
Oh, cool.
Finally going to pull the trigger on that?
What's that?
You finally going to pull the trigger on that, Bogey?
We're 95% of the way there. So
awesome.
Yeah, working on that. Sorry, Brian, I can't do Rocky Mountain. I wish I could.
What kind of classes you got coming up that you're doing?
We've got. Oh, okay, fine. We have a tailgate class coming out at Lancaster Barbecue Supply. We also have a seafood class and a holiday class coming out. And there might be an online class coming out of Barbecue Champs here in the next couple weeks. Don't know.
Heard something about that. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We going to put a class together for Smash Burger Tacos?
Never. Well, actually, I should for both of you, so you guys can make them right.
I only made the burgers. Jason made the tacos.
Yeah. We need to have come to Jesus on this because I love the idea. Didn't love the
How many did you eat?
execution.
2?
I ate one.
You ate 2.
I ate one.
You ate 2. Eliminate the Smash Burger Taco.
Probably right, Brian.
They got eat though. I will tell you that. There was maybe left out of the ones that we made.
Everybody's giving me the devil about that. Everybody eat them. They were good.
They were good.
Luke's the only person that criticized them.
Luke's still right.
All right, so if y'all don't know something about Luke here, one other thing about it is he is a massive foodie. He is a very big foodie person.
I also don't lie about food. You give me food, I'm going to tell you the truth.
I'm praying for you don't get hit by lightning over there.
What are you talking about?
Get hit. Say you don't lie about food.
I do not.
You say your chicken's good all the time, though. You say mine's bad. You just was lying about food.
Ask Brian Corbett. He gave me chicken on Friday night or Saturday. And finally, I was trying to figure out who gave me chicken. He gave it to me, and he goes, "Wasn't my best." I'm like, "You're right."
Oh, damn.
But
Shots
listen,
fired.
he gave that to me for the opinion.
Oh, I agree.
He gave that to me. See, and he wanted me to verify that it was shitty, and I verified it. I did have some fun with him on Sunday because I had a shiner and a rib in the middle, and the bone popped out. And I took that rib and I took that rib. There was no bone in it. I said, "You get my rib?" It was like, it was tasty. Just had no bone.
Didn't you give him a checklist also?
I did. Uh, and I waxed philosophical about that for a while because because everyone knows Brian. Brian had a rib snafu and Galax, and so I was sitting there and I wrote this checklist about 1 rib, 2 rib, 3 rib, 4 rib, 5 rib, 6 rib. And I walked out to Kim and I showed it to her and she just died laughing. I said, "Too soon?" She's like, "Absolutely not." Then I showed it to Jerry and Jerry's like, "Are you taking that over there?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, I'm like, "Too soon?" He goes, "Nah." I took it over and gave it to Brian. Brian looked at me and goes, "You motherfucker." And Ashley looks at me and goes, "Probably needs it."
Oh, damn.
But I'll tell you what. Brian Corbett changed barbecue for the better with what happened to him and how open he was about it and how he talked about it and how now people will take a little extra care. And everyone has told me that now they look at boxes differently because of that story. And that's what I'm trying to do with my podcast and having Brian involved with my podcast at the level that he is, because he's higher than anybody else. Like, he's always there and is great. The fact that he was so open about that, it literally has changed the way that a lot of people think about looking at their box and think about checking their box when they take it in and stuff like that. I've gotten so many stories and so many comments about it, and I can't thank Brian enough for sharing that on my podcast, Pitmaster and Overdue Smoke Podcast. You can find it on Spotify or anywhere you can find podcasts. But yeah,
links in the description below for his stuff, by the way.
But just unbelievable what that podcast did. I had 10 people come up and tell me that was the best podcast I've ever done.
It was good. It was a good one.
Yeah, and the fact that he was so open about it, and I think is really like, I mean, I've counted when we have a 6 rib bone box now, I'm counting.
You know, so let me tell you a story about this podcast here. So we're driving up there to the mountains to get the camper and carry the guy get fixed and bring it home because my camper broke down up there. And we're driving through there, not pulling the camper, but it started raining. It started pouring down rain. And Michelle, we're listening to the podcast driving down the road. And I told Michelle about 2/3 through this, so you got to stop it. I can't, I'm about to stress myself out. It was just personally for me, knowing that somebody I think a lot of and care about has going through this situation right now of hardship in this situation. Mentally, it was destroying me. I had to not finish it up for another hour later. I could actually finish listening to it. It's a very good podcast, had a very good information to it. And its outlook on going forward, just don't stop, keep going, was inspirational. It absolutely was.
Well, and that's the other side of it. And I told this to Brian privately, but I don't think he would mind me sharing with him, was what I even said on the podcast. Absolutely amazed at, and I'm going to go WWE, his intestinal fortitude to be able to brush that off and then turn it into a 180 pork box.
Mm-hmm.
And then turn it into a 178 brisket box after he knew that he boned himself. Or whatever happened.
Yeah.
But he knew that he only had 5. I mean, is there a better story about mental toughness in this hobby? I don't think so.
No, I mean, it was very inspirational. I mean, like I said, he didn't quit. He didn't give up. He kept pushing forward, and he done very well. I mean, he done very well. I mean, he come to our trade over there earlier and was borrowing stuff from me, and he's like, top 5 now, baby. I was like, and he would have knocked that one out the park. He had a hell of a cook. And the situation what it is.
I mean, if the 6th rib is in there, then I mean,
nobody's gonna catch you.
Different story. Like,
yeah,
he had to rep the field. I mean, you know,
and I'm not saying anything against with. Okay, Justin's bye. Did you kick him off?
We went 9:41. This is way too long. Bullshit.
Yeah, yours is 1 hour and 36 minutes at Wise podcast. That's part one. Part 1. Yeah.
But I'm not a slave to some sort of format. You're the one who told me it had to be an hour.
I did not say it had to be an hour. I said usually about an hour. If we go over, that's great.
This is your least favorite podcast of all time because I just destroyed your entire timeline.
I didn't send you a timeline.
Yes,
there was no timeline. No, I didn't.
You even asked me today you asked me today if I got your email.
I did ask you got my email.
Yeah. Internet.
Well, I was asking you got my emails. For everybody that knows this, when we do a live stream here, podcast situation, I send an email out. And the email's got the links, how to log in, all this other stuff. Show up 15 minutes early, makes technical stuff works. And looks like I'll be there at 8:30. I said 8:15. I'll be there at 8:30, 8:15. It's like to me 2 hours getting you show up on time, y'all. I'm totally lying about that.
That's fine.
Yeah, we had a good time with that. But I'm blessed he come on the show. He's a great friend of mine.
Absolutely. I love you. You're amazing.
His podcast, even the ones that doesn't have Brian Corbett on there, is a really good podcast. He's got some really good information and pulls it out there. I mean, Brian's the star of the show. He overshows Luke. And so that's what he does. But it's still a great show. It's awesome opportunity to be part of that. And so he's got a show out there. The link for his stuff is down in the description. Go check his stuff out. For all that, you got any sponsors you want to shout out to?
All of them. I refuse to call them sponsors. I call them partners because we're in this together. We have barbecuedata.com. We have Big Papa Smokers, Blues Hog, Gateway, Compart Family Farms, Snake River Farms, Yeti. You know, all these people help us out and just make our lives easier. But it's just tremendous to work with some brands like that are super solid. It's amazing.
It is. And one thing we tell everybody out here, we come into the contest, come say hey to us. I know somebody's got big rigs and stuff like that, but just come say hey to us and talk to us. We want people to be part of barbecue. If you're just getting started out, we want to help you become a competitor in barbecue because we want the sport to grow. And without new blood coming in there, we can't grow that way. And the same thing with judges. Come talk to us. We'll be more than happy to tell you what our perspective on there and appreciate your feedback on there. So you get through judging contests, come out there and hang out with us. Come by and we'll give you probably all the barbecue your heart desires from a lot of situations to carry with you. So just come out here and be part of that. Because this is a family function. We love doing it.
Absolutely, brother.
Luke's smiling. Listen, we got a show coming on next week. We'll be on Tuesday night at 8:30. We'll find out who the guests will be when we get closer to the time. Again, we got to thank our sponsors. Again, Snake River Farms sponsors video. Click the links down below. Use the code EliteBBQ10. Get 10% off all Snake River Farm purchase on the entire website. We also got Rec Tech, Land of Barbecue Stores, Heath Riles, Royal Oak Charcoal. Awesome sponsors, great products. Make sure you check them out. Appreciate y'all watching. See you next time.